The first verses of the Surah Al-Kahf refer to Christianity, and a warning is specifically given to Christianity that Allah warns you against concocting and attributing a false son to him while he has no son. لِيُنْذِرَ الَّذِينَ قَالُوا اتَّخَذَ اللَّهُ وَلَدًا مَا لَهُمْ بِهِ مِنْ عِلْمٍ وَلَا لِآبَائِهِمْ إِنْ يَقُولُونَ كَبُرَتْ كَلِمَةً تَخْرُجُ مِنْ أَفْوَاهِهِمْ إِنْ يَقُولُونَ إِلَّا كَذِبًا. This holy prophet of Allah has come to warn you, and warn those in particular who are Christians, who have invented by themselves imaginatively a son to Allah, and they attribute that imaginary being to Allah and say he has a son. Neither they have any knowledge nor their forefathers had any knowledge. They are just talking nonsense out of their heads, as they say in English. So this is kalimatan takhruju min kaburat kalimatan takhruju min afwahihim. But this nonsense would be taken very seriously by Allah, because it is an affront to Him. So they are going to be punished for that. These are the verses which make very clear the religion of Dajjal, that whatever power that be, that power is going to be Christian. And Christian of that stage in future, which would become almost entirely idolaters. Now, after this, there is a diversion after a few verses, and the distorted shape of Christianity is left alone, and then Allah turns to the account of those early Christians who were God-fearing and who offered great sacrifices for the sake of Allah, went to the caves for the sake of saving their religion from their opponents. Those are the people then mentioned. And it is made explicitly clear that whatever the future Christians would gain by way of the materialistic advancements would be in fact because of their early forefathers' good deeds. It is a reward not for their own sake, but for the sake of those early Christians who offered so much for the sake of Allah, that they are reaping this reward of great achievements in the world. Now that is a different subject altogether. But those were not Dajjal. So Hazrat Muhammad Mustafa sallallahu alaihi wasallam confined himself to the only first 10 verses, because the account which relates to the great early Christians, part of whom are called Ashab-e-Kahf, people of the cave, are exempt from this warning. They are in fact narrated in the Holy Quran with great love and regard. So we leave them alone for the time being and go to the last 10 verses, where what do we find there? There Allah tells us, أَفَحَسِبَ الَّذِينَ كَفَرُوا أَنْ يَتَّخِذُوا عِبَادِي مِنْ دُونِي أَوْلِيَاءَ إِنَّا أَعْتَدْنَا جَهَنَّمَ لِلْكَافِرِينَ نُزُلًا. أَفَحَسِبَ الَّذِينَ كَفَرُوا, those who have denied the message of the Holy Prophet, who have refused to believe in him, do they think, are they working under the misconception that they will ultimately become successful? By doing what? By making Allah's creatures, by treating Allah's creatures as His partners. يَتَّخِذُونَ عِبَادِي مِن دُونِي أَوْلِيَاءَ, as against me, if they start making partners, calling partners besides Allah from among Allah's creatures, if they think they would become successful, they are totally wrong in that. Further it says, these are the people who have turned all their attentions, all their energies, all their powers towards materialism. الَّذِينَ ظَلَّ سَعْيُهُمْ فِي الْحَيَاةِ الدُّنْيَا. Now this is the verse to which I want to attract your attention in particular. This is a telltale verse. It tells us that these are the people whose faith is Christianity, whose religion is Christianity, but who would have made such advancement in material pursuits, أَنَّهُمْ يُحْسِنُونَ وَهُمْ يَحْسَبُونَ أَنَّهُمْ يُحْسِنُونَ صُنْعًا, that they would think that they have done they have achieved the very best in life. That means to say that not only their entire energies and capabilities would be directed towards materialistic pursuits, but also they would have gained so much by that pursuit that they would believe that they have done the very best in life. What best could there be other than this? Now, this is exactly the situation which we find today when we are traveling in Europe. They have excelled in the pursuit of materialism. They have gone to such stages as is unimaginable for poor people of Pakistan or India or other backward countries to achieve even after 100 years. They have gone so far ahead of us. And by the pursuit of materialism, they have come out with beautiful things as well, as the Holy Quran himself admits. Annahum yusinuna sunna means that their industry would be so wonderful that when they would look at their products, they say, look here, how beautifully we have made them. We can manufacture such beautiful things. So all over Europe you'll see the same thing. They have excelled in industry. And this is what the Holy Quran tells. At the same time, that Dajjal becomes manifestly clear to us. He is the same Dajjal which was talked about by Hazrat Muhammad Mustafa sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. That one eye is blind. As far as the religious values are concerned, they don't see the logic of the things. They say 3 is 1 and 1 is 3. God begets children, physical beings. It's impossible, how absurd it is. Yet their logic immediately goes to sleep when they begin to see visualize religion, and they don't see anything at all there, in fact. This is why they are called blind. And the moment their eyes turn towards the materialistic things, their vision becomes so bright and clear, so illuminated, that we look at them with wonder how they could perceive those things while we also live the same universe. We also pass through the same natural phenomena, but we miss the point, while they have picked up the right points and made advancement because of a correct study of nature. So this dilemma is solved by us, by Hazrat Muhammad Mustafa sallallahu alaihi wasallam, by us. And by solving this, it gives us hope too. Instead of giving us inferiority complex, we are strengthened in our faith. We realize that although they are a wise people, but 1400 years ago, Hazrat Muhammad Mustafa sallallahu alaihi wasallam had seen through them. He had warned them, us, that they would materialistically become extremely advanced. Yet you must not follow them in their ethical values, in their religious values, in all the values which are termed good in Islam, because there they would be a blind people. If you follow them there, you'll be destroyed yourself.